Hello, 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 all the King's men. Welcome to another Friday assessment. Yes, I am excited about another Friday assessment. Why? Because in these Friday assessments, this is where we grow. We take that opportunity and we look back over our week and we be like, you know what? There was an opportunity that I did not take advantage of this week. Yes, that's why it's so important to assess. You know, the assessment is you take everything that has happened and what are the lessons learned? What are the lessons learned? What are we doing? We're looking at our successes and we're looking at where we didn't experience success. Yes, we're looking at our experiences, the ones that we achieved and the ones that we did not achieve. Yes, and what we want to do, remember, in order to be that success that you want to be, you got to continue to build up on success. You got to build up on the patterns, the tasks, the things that you did to experience success. So what that means? That means that you need to assess the things that you didn't achieve, what you wanted to achieve. You go back and assess, why didn't I achieve the end goal? Why didn't I achieve what I was reaching for, I was striving for? And what you got to figure out in the midst of that is, did you follow the process? Did I not put my all into it? Compared to where you did achieve success, did you follow the plan to the T? Did you allow some adjustments? Or were you just who you were, the reason that you succeeded? So that's why this week, I want to talk about assessing, fighting for who you are. I need you to fight for who you are. What do you mean? What do you mean, my brother? You mean fight for who I am. I am who I am. Do you know who God made you? You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You're a royal priesthood, a chosen generation. You are a special people. You're a peculiar people. So what does that mean? That the enemy does not want you to know that. The enemy doesn't want you to know that you were designed to have success in this life. Why? Because you were created in the image of God. You were created in the image of God. But you know what? The enemy wants to blind you from that thing. Yeah, you got to look at Job. Job had to fight. Oh my goodness. Oh my God, Job had to fight, y'all. You know, Job was a wealthy man. Job was a wealthy man. He had many cattle. He had much livestock. He had much livestock. He had a family. He had beautiful children. He had what he needed. And what happened? It wasn't that he did anything, but the enemy know who you are. The enemy knew who Job was. The enemy knew that he loved God. The enemy knew that God's protection was around him. Yes, but what happened? Job said, God had to ask the devil, what are you doing here? When he was talking to the angels. He said, what you doing there? What you want? Why are you here? Glory be. He said, I've been going to and fro, seeking. He said, have you considered my servant Job? So have the enemy considered you? Yes, he has. He has considered you. He had a conversation with God about you. And he have came to buffet you. He came to know if you really trust God. Do you really know yourself? Do you really know you? He said, and what we already know what he told him. He said, you can touch everything, but don't touch his very life. Do you know there are things in your life that you have been defining yourself about? But you know, you got to remember the things on the outside don't define you. It's what's inside define you. The enemy thought that if he took everything from Job, that he would curse God. But what happened? Job fought for who he was. Even his wife, even his friends wanted him to curse God. That's why you got to dig down deep and fight for who you are. Fight for who God made you. Fight and know that God loved you first. And you ought to love him back. You owe that to him. You owe that to God to love him back. So I need you to fight for who you are today. Fight, because the enemy has been lying to us as men. The enemy has been lying to us, telling us that we need to be one way when God has already told us who we are. And you know, in this world, we try to fight. In this world, we try to fight to figure it out. figure it out when God done already told you who you are? You mean to tell me you trying to fight to figure something out instead of fighting for who you are? Oh my God. I'd rather fight for who I am than fight to figure out who I am. And that's what the world wants you to do. But the world doesn't lie to you. You already know who you are. So fight for who that is. You have many gifts. You have an inheritance that have been given to you, but you got to fight. Why would it tell me in Ephesians 6 to put on the whole armor? If you put on armor, that means that you got to fight. That means that you're fighting against darkness. You're fighting against rulers. Oh my God. You are fighting against wickedness in high places. These things are seen and unseen. That's why you got to fight for who you are. Because look, when you fight for who you are, that means that you're fighting from the inside. You're fighting from who you are. You're fighting for who you are, but you're fighting from who you are. Look, why? Because it reveals. And in the revealing, you realize why you had success in some areas. And you realize why you didn't have success in some areas. So what am I telling you, all the king's men? I need you to get in that word. I need you to read. Read about Joshua. Read about Moses. Read about David. Read about Job. Why did they have success? They had success because they followed the commandments of their maker. They listened. They had their ear to the mouthpiece of God. And you like, well, I'm not there. Yes, you are there. Never count yourself out. Because if you ever say that you're not there, don't believe that the enemy is not listening to you. And that's what the enemy wants. Then the enemy will have you saying, you got to fight to figure out who you are. That's not who you are. When God already told you who you are. So how do you do that? You do that by reading the word, reading the scriptures. If you don't know what scripture to read, continue to meditate up on Psalm 1. Continue to meditate up on Psalm 112. All the King's Men is based upon Psalm 112. I need you as men to be men of your house and leave inheritance. And we have to think about that. Fighting for who you are. Fighting for who you are. You are great. You are a conqueror. You're more than a conqueror is what he said. God already knew you before you was formed in your mother's womb. Think about that. Think about that. I know he told Jeremiah that, but do you know that applies to you? He knew you before you was formed in your mother's womb. But the enemy, my God, he don't want you to know that. He don't want you to know who you are. Because if he know you know that, then you will have power. That's why the enemy want to keep us with blinded eyes. We got to take the skill. That's why I encourage you to live in a way that you build up on your strengths. Because if you fighting to build on weaknesses, that means that ain't who you are anyway. That ain't who you are anyway. Because you know why? Because the area that you're weak in, God has made somebody strong in that area. Oh my God. God has made somebody strong in that area. And you know why that person is strong? Because they can help you in that area. They can show up that area that you're not strong in. And you can go on and focus and be great in the area that you're strong in. You know why? Because you're going to meet somebody that's not strong in the area that you are strong in. So all the King's Men, I need you, look, to assess the areas that you were successful in. Why? Because in that area, you're going to find your strength. In that area, you're going to be like, this is who I am. So I need you to fight for you. Fight for you. Never stop fighting for you. All the King's Men, I pray, this is my prayer, that your assessment is successful, that you're able to see, that you're seeing even the more of who you are. The more of who you are is being revealed in these assessments. So all the King's Men, I speak a blessing over you this day, this weekend, as you prepare for the week to come. All the King's Men, remember, drop me a message in the chat below. Let me know where you are. Let me know who you are. Let me know that you are being encouraged. All the King's Men, be blessed.